Diary. It's May 2019, and we're here to do a review of the Xtrons TTIP radio unit replacement for an Audi TT Generation 8J. And I just want to go through the unit's capabilities and show you that this is a rather good radio which has quite a few flaws, but still we're going to keep it. The takeaway summary is that it is an internet connected radio running Android, and with full dongle 4G internet connectivity, we feel it's a real step forward based over the old Audi unit that we had, which had no internet connectivity whatsoever. And the first thing you need to know, the critical thing you need to know with this unit, which has taken Xtrons, which is a Hong Kong based company with a UK distributor, 3 months not to find out, is how to get the unit working properly with any arbitrary Android app. And it's the following: you need to go into the settings, car settings, factory settings, and you need to set the CAN bus to 56. It's set to something else when you get the radio. You need to set it to 56, and then when you've done that, you'll find out that any Android app can output sound to through the amplifier. Now the Audis either have a Bose stereo or not. This car has a Bose stereo, and so is easier to fit with this radio. So the radio does rather assume that you've got the Bose. Some things don't work. Let's cover the things that don't work. It's rather pessimistic, but the things that don't work are these steering wheel controls don't work, and neither does the radio frequency here. Now on the previous radio, the TT RIP, the steering controls did work, but then the sound didn't work, and that radio has been returned. So I can't comment as to whether if we had changed the CAN bus setting on that radio, whether everything would have worked. I'll never know. But this is the TTIP unit. It still has 2 SD slots. So one of the key things about this radio is that not only does it have full internet connectivity, but there's an SD slot here and another SD slot here, which you can use to store arbitrary information on. So I've got VLC loaded again from the Android Play Store, and I've got a very old movie.
Meet me at the museum at 5:30 sharp.
So as you can see, it works fine. So let's just show you a few more internet connected things, which I think is what makes this radio something special. It's running Android 8, by the way. So we've got Spotify loaded again from the App Store. I've got my release radar, and I can just play. It's actually been downloaded, so I'm logged in with my normal Spotify user ID, and I can play.
I shouldn't call you in these days. Yeah, the city has made me brave. I'm still the comfort.
So there's Spotify. We have the Play Store as normal. So from the Play Store you can install apps that you want. Then we've programmed the navigation button to go to Google Maps. So actually from the menu you won't see any Google Maps on this panel because it's just redundant. But pressing the navigate button goes to the Google Maps application. Okay, so we can just use that. All this is coming via the internet, by the way, so nothing is being stored locally. So using the Google Maps application, you can do standard routing to get to places, and of course it has full internet connectivity, so any traffic jams will be found directly. At a basic level, you've obviously got a radio, but the radio is another Android application, and without the mod that we first described, in fact this was one of the only applications that worked. Now any Android application would work
in the teeth of what might have been opposition from Labour MPs at that time.
A turning point in Wales. 4 years earlier in Scotland, there had been an even more
Okay, well I accidentally got rid of all the applications there, not just one application, but you see the point. That's the radio application. There's a screen here that you can tailor. I've tried to put all the things that we would use all the time on the front page. A2DP is an application so that you can link the audio only from your phone that I'm currently shooting this video from to the stereo. So for example, you could be playing, say, from your Radio 4 app on your phone and then linking that to the Xtrons unit here. Of course, you've got no need to do that because you can just play it directly either from a web page or in fact one of the BBC radio apps. Now I did find actually that the BBC radio apps don't work properly. The radio app doesn't work, but ironically the TV app does work. So that's just a bit annoying. So in fact, to play BBC radio on this particular case, we've not been able to get that working. So to play BBC radio online or from the app player, we do it via the phone and we connect via A2DP. Easy Connect is the implementation of Android Auto. It's difficult to show that whilst I'm shooting this video, but basically you've got 3 different options. So you can connect an iPhone or an Android phone across the Wi-Fi hotspot, or you can connect it via a USB cable out the back of the phone. So that's quite convenient. If you do that, the screen and the audio is mirrored from the phone. So anything that's on the phone, be it a navigation app or the radio or YouTube, can be shown on the screen. And speaking of YouTube, do I have YouTube installed here? It should be. I'm not surprised it's not on the front page somehow. Well, oh yes, it is on the front page. Of course it is. Yeah, so YouTube works fine. Let's just pick a random. Again, all this is coming via the internet. It's not sort of local. It's an advert first of all for the Pixel 3.8. In terms of speed, there are some issues, a little bit of issues, not just the internet speed, but there's a bit of lag from some of the applications, but I'm afraid you're going to have to get used to that. Now, to show you, finally, how is the internet being supplied, there's a dongle. So we've bought a special dongle. We've tried a number of different dongles and they don't all work. So many of the dongles appear to work via a Wi-Fi bubble connection, but that's very annoying. What this is a 4G dongle with a 3 SIM card. Again, all details are in the blog article. Essentially this is a 24 gigabyte, £60 cost SIM, which lasts for 24 months. And therefore, if we were to use a gigabyte per month, it would be enough. We're still under that at the moment, but it's early days, so we don't know whether we're going to exceed that or not. So using this specific card, when the power is switched on, this dongle is powered, gets its 4G signal, and then you have full internet. So that's a significant point, because it means to say that you don't have to think about it. It's just there, and it will give you internet as soon as the radio starts. Okay, that's the end of the review. Basically, it's a great unit. There's a few flaws with the unit. Notably, it's somewhat laggy in certain areas. The steering controls don't work, but there are so many things that do work, and the fact that it's fully internet connected really mean it's a huge step forward for us. And at last we've got something that works from Xtrons, although they didn't provide the solution, and we're a bit miffed about that. Still, it's a good product, and it's about £300 from the UK Xtrons.co.uk store. Okay, Derek, thanks for watching.